Are the fallen angels ruling over hell to this day? Where's the scripture that says that? Well, it sounds like that's what 2 Peter 2:4 says, but it's actually not really what it's saying. Look closely. It says, "For God spared not the angel which sinned, but cast them down into hell." Now, see, that word hell there is a mistranslation because it's actually the word Tartarus. The Greek translators, when they made the Bible into English, they decided this should be hell because they believed already that devils were in hell, and therefore it made sense. But that's not the word it was used. The Greek word Hades, used elsewhere in the Bible to translate as hell, means simply the grave. This word translated as hell is Tartarus, a very, very different word. It refers to a completely different place. It's actually a reference to a Greek myth, which anyone in Peter's audience would have understood. The Greek-speaking audience had a long history of myths involving the Olympians and the Titans and so on. And one of the greatest foundational myths was that the Olympians had a battle with the Titans, who were the gods before Zeus and Hades and the rest of those guys were. And these Titans lost the battle, and they got cast down to earth, and the Olympians bound them in a cave, and that cave was called Tartarus. There they were said to be turned to stone, where they would do more damage. Of course, they kept living because they needed to have that, tension for the latter days. But it's clear that Peter was referencing this because he couldn't use that word and not reference it, because that's what the word meant to them. So, why would he use that word? Well, the angels were cast down from heaven, and they were sent to Tartarus. Where was Tartarus? Jesus said that he saw Satan as lightning fall from heaven. So that tells us that they were cast out of heaven and put somewhere. But where? We see in Peter also it says that the devil, your adversary, walks the earth seeking whom he may devour. So clearly there we see that he was cast down to the earth, where he walks around seeking to devour. And based on that, we can conclude that from Peter's perspective, Tartarus was earth, because it was under chains under the darkness meaning outer space, and he was bound here and not allowed to go back and forth to heaven because God did not want to see his face again. So he was kept on earth and locked here, and that was what Tartarus represented there, earth in that context. So this does not mean they're ruling over hell. On the contrary, it means they were on earth, which I guess sometimes is kind of like hell depending on your perspective. But that's not the point. The point is, Tartarus does not mean hell in the sense that you see in the Protestant myths and then the devil ruling the underworld kind of stuff. It simply means the earth where they were bound until the judgment of that great day when Christ returns and the whole earth, everyone in Tartarus, is judged.